to Idaho Esports. I'm Amelia.
I'm Kaz.
So tonight we are starting a little earlier than usual, and that is because we are scrimming against Rigby High. You might remember them from a previous scrim that we did. Pretty impressive. They are Rigby High School, and it's a nice warm-up for our players before we go against Redlands University later tonight. So how are you feeling?
About like the game?
Yes, about.
Oh yeah,
not
no, I mean, we did relatively okay during our last scrimmage against Rigby High School. We did see some pretty tight competition. There were a lot of spots that I don't think that we were really prepared for. We were kind of playing a lot more lax. We weren't expecting too much competition, but we actually saw some tougher opponents than we were expecting, which was really good for us and both Rigby, because they were given an opportunity to play with us and see how we play, but also an opportunity for our team to see how these guys play and how they might want to strategize either for future opponents or, I guess, in future games like this one that we play against
and
Rigby.
Possible future recruitment opportunities for us. You know,
That's true.
it could happen. So as for our
our communication screen is very tiny.
there
we
you
go.
So we have a new stream set up, and production is working on things, but
Well, did you look at that? Did you look down at the?
yeah,
Yeah, we're a little wide down there.
just a little bit. But you know what? That's A-okay.
You know what? Stretch res is peak performance.
It's better than not working at all. Poor production. They're so stressed out right now. So we're going to start off on a stadium with our first person in the lineup.
Now, I do know that who we're putting against Rigby today is going to be a mix of our varsity and our junior varsity team. But do you know exactly who's playing with us all today?
Including the match later or just the scrim?
Just the scrim today.
Yeah,
because I see Shiny Shoes up.
Yeah, Shiny
as
Shoes
we
is up
have
playing
Rosalina
Rosalina, as usual.
And we have Rigby's King K player from last time we did the scrim. I don't even remember the last time we did the scrim, but I think it was about like a week or so ago.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So
we saw some really tough competition from this King K. They were able to get a lot of hits down, but it seems like in the beginning of this fight, they really just weren't able to get down to where they needed, as Rosalina was able to juggle them very quickly and get them out, leaving their first stock off of Rigby, having only taken 23% damage. And they're just going right back at it again, you know, getting some really good hits on King K here.
You know, I didn't think it was possible, but I think Shiny Shoes improved even further with his Rosalina, because that was just so impressive.
Yeah, there was like they wasted no time getting up to the plate, absolutely dominating every frame opportunity that they had. But you know, I'm blanking. There was something I was going to say, and I can't think of it anymore. So I'm just going to go back to casting the game as usual. We're still seeing some really heavy hits on King K from Rosalina here, getting a nice up attack there, leaving King K to defend, and Rosalina is still just able to ledge guard pretty hard. They're not going to be able to bounce them off of the ledge, but that's fine. King K is still trying to find some places to get into Rosalina, as you know, she is up in kill percentage right now, but with a very, very nice up special.
Look at that stock count.
We're able to get another stock off of Rigby. Now, Rosalina is in 115 now, so it could be some dangerous territory for her here. But outside of that, I really don't think there's too much to worry about for this fight. Even if we do lose a stock, there's a really good opportunity of us taking this round. However, there could be some things that we don't, I guess, foresee.
I would like to point out something that Shiny Shoes just did. He tried to bait King Rule off the ledge there and almost succeeded, just barely missing timing for King Rule to get back up onto the stage. That was just impressive.
But with a nice side B from King K, they're able to get their first stock off of the Vandals. And we're going to have Shiny Shoes here continue to play pretty aggressively, trying to get the round over with. Not really getting that up attack that they could have needed to get that stock off of King K, leaving them still on the stage. They're still fighting, still doing really well, getting up into Crimson while Shiny Shoes attempts to get them off of the ledge, tries to juggle them around. Without much work, you know, King K is losing his super shield, but is still using his regular shield well. But with a nice, I'm pretty sure that was an up attack from Shiny Shoes, they're able to get that third stock off of Rigby, leaving the score 11-9.
Yes, that is math.
Was that a tilt? Am I silly? It was an up tilt.
Yeah, that was an up tilt.
Okay.
Okay. But that was a really impressive showing from Rosalina. Once again, I would say that that's market improvement. I like that we're going up against Rigby High again because we can actually visibly see our improvement from last time. And we can also see their improvement.
Yeah, you know, we saw King K able to really defend during this fight. They were put up, I believe, like the last match that they did play wasn't as long as this one. You know, there were a lot of parts that they really choked at, and it didn't really bid well for them throughout that fight. But we definitely saw some of their defense tightening up this round.
Yes.
You know, a very well-played performance from Rigby here. We are now in the waiting screen. Once again, waiting to see who Rigby is going to put up. It looks like it's going to be their Wolf player. Now, I do remember their Wolf player, actually.
Rather impressive.
Yeah, very aggressive, but also very technical. You know, they seem to always be a few steps ahead of our fighters here. And, you know, that could give them an extra advantage in this fight, as, you know, Rosalina will be fighting with one less stock than Fox here.
We can definitely expect like a really nice showing of technical abilities, and I know this Wolf knows the limits of his character very well, so hopefully we can see an impressive showing.
Now, so far, Shiny Shoes has been able to get just sub 50 damage percent on Wolf, trying to get themselves back on the ledge as Wolf tries to bait them off of it. It seems like Wolf still has center stage for the most part, so they're really controlling the fight here. But Rosalina, regardless, is still able to get some pretty powerful hits on here, having taken about 60% damage, while Wolf having taken 82. Rosalina knows that for this fight anyways, they're really going to have to clutch up in a sense. You know, they have to work fast on Wolf's first stock if they want to take all of their stocks off. But really, in a crew battle, those kinds of things aren't really important anyway. It's more about picks. It's more about getting those individual battles done and taking more points off of your enemy team. Now, with a very glorious, I don't even know what that was, but Rosalina was able to get a stock off of Wolf while nearing kill percentage. They're still holding up, defending really well, and they're getting some nice rolls on him, trying to continue controlling the tempo, but Wolf is able to get back on stage towards the center and try to direct things more their way a little bit well.
We have a fun fact from production that we... Oh!
What does that mean? That's concerning.
Apparently, production has killed 2 PCs. That's great.
And meanwhile, Shiny Shoes has taken off 2 stocks.
And not lost a single one.
And not lost a single one throughout this fight.
Please don't tell me we
Now, they're still having to fight really hard for ledge control. And they're able to get back up on stage. And while they are really high in damage percentage right now, they're still giving up a really good performance, getting some really good hits on the Wolf there, bringing them up to sub 50 damage percent.
Yeah, that was a beautiful combo by Rosalina just then. That really increased the odds of Rosalina winning this without losing a single stock, other than the initial one, of course.
And they're still fighting really well, you know, kind of nearing Crimson, but not really getting up there yet. Meanwhile, Wolf sits at 91 after getting, I'm pretty sure it was just an up attack. And
Oh,
Rosalina
and
baiting,
there we go.
letting go at the perfect moment and getting Wolf's third stock off, leaving the score 11-6. That is 2 players that Shiny Shoes was able to take out on his own.
Yeah.
That's really
So
impressive.
it is now 6-11, and Shiny Shoes showed really impressive work on edge guarding there, really effective. That's how it should be done, definitely. Just taking out that last bit of percentage to take out that stock.
And it was definitely a really tough fight. You know, towards the end there, we saw Shiny getting up and higher into their damage percentage. It was looking like it was going to be some tough competition, but they were able to pull through and get that last stock off of Wolf from a very timed charge attack. Very well-timed charge attack is what I was trying to say.
Rather nice play. I wish I could play like that, but I know I can't.
Hey, you know, it takes a lot of time and practice and dedication, which all of our players have definitely been putting into this game. And especially, you know, having a good mentor such as Vulcan, you know, over you throughout your life growing up definitely gives you, you know, some kind of advantage. We see that in Not Yoshi as well, who is also an excellent player on our JV team, who played against Rigby during our last scrimmage against them.
Yes. So now we see Rosalina against their Joker. I remember their Joker being very impressive. So this could be when Shiny Shoes takes
taking their initial stock off. Now, I do remember from this last fight that Joker was definitely a bit of a tough opponent. I'm pretty sure it was against Hunter who we had up against them. You know, they were able to find some really good hits on our players here, give themselves a really good advantage. And I don't remember how their first fight on the table ended up going, but I do remember that it was definitely some tough competition. And that's kind of what I'm expecting to see. That's kind of what I'm already seeing, as both players at a pretty similar damage percentage, about a 32% gap. And definitely widening as Rosalina is able to get some really good hits on Joker there. Now, they're still doing relatively okay for their first stock, but obviously Joker is going to be able to touch on that a little bit there, try and get Shiny Shoes up into a higher damage percentage, maybe trying to give themselves a bit of an advantage later on in the fight. After all, they do have 3 stocks, while Shiny only has 2, so they know that they're going to have to fight a lot harder to get through this fight. Now, as we saw with the fight against Wolf, Shiny, you know, was still able to pull through with their 2 stocks. Didn't even lose a stock during that fight. They were able to put up a really good performance, and that's already what we're seeing again here with Rosalina using some longer distance attacks to get Joker off the edge here. Joker's nearing Crimson right now in 164%. And Joker with a very quick mid-air attack, able to take off another stock from the Vandals, leaving the score 10-6 right now.
Yes, but we're getting fairly close to making it 10-5.
Yes.
If I have any knowledge of what's going on.
Yeah, you know, we still see Joker in a pretty high damage percentage there. Just getting really, really dangerously vulnerable there. But they're still able to hold up a really good fight regardless of their launch weight and stuff like that. Able to pull Shiny in for a really good attack. So Shiny is at 62 right now, but Joker is really easy to knock out. And just, you know, with a quick grab like that, Shiny is able to take them out and leave the fights 10-5 now. Shiny has 1 stock, meanwhile Joker has 2. And unless if, you know, the strat is not to survive through the fight, but just get some more stocks off of the Joker player here, Shiny will have to pick up the pace in terms of getting some damage out, so they're needing to look for more areas to get into the fight, get in and control the tempo, try and give themselves a bit of leverage in this fight. But with a very, very impressive down smash from Joker, they were able to take out Rosalina and make the fight 9-5 now.
Yes, that was a pretty impressive run from Rosalina. But I will say both Joker and Rosalina are very versatile characters. They can go long, mid, and close range combat. Yeah, pretty impressive down air spikes, as production is pointing out. Trying to distract us is what production is doing.
Yeah. But now we are waiting for our next competitor from the Vandal side to take up the stage. It was a really well-played fight from the Joker
Yes.
player here. You know, we saw some really tough competition, saw some spots where they were going to get close, but as they approached closer and closer into Crimson, it seems like they were only getting stronger. It seems like they were only kind of figuring out more and more what it is that they were trying to do throughout the fight. And that was a really impressive fight there. And we
I
have
see Candy's
Candy
up.
taking the stage with their Byleth pick, going against this Joker player on 2 stocks with Candy's 3.
This could be an interesting match. I know
Yeah.
Byleth is one of our JV players. Last time I saw Byleth play, there was some struggle with, I guess, movement and spacing. So we'll see if that improves.
Like Byleth on their own is a very aggressive fighter, and if you know how to use Byleth, you can use that to your advantage pretty well. But there was an issue with kind of overextending into the fight a little bit, getting themselves in some really unlucky spots, and you know it is kind of hard to bounce back from that. So
Yeah.
we will see if you doing all right over there.
Yeah, just my contact making my eyes burn.
Oh yeah.
It's fine. So, let's go. We're still on the waiting arena. It looks like we're changing the stage to random. That's great. That's always a good pick.
Yeah, it's the random pick. It doesn't matter where we go.
I think because this is Scrim and these are people that we've gone against before, we're more comfortable with just going on any of the maps. So, which is nice.
Which, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter that much anyway because we're on PS2 again.
Yay!
So,
Yeah,
that's nice.
We're doing a button check, it looks like.
Oh, no,
Oh.
the Joker was just taking off one of their socks that they lost during the last
Oh,
fight.
I thought that was Byleth on that side.
Yeah,
Oops. No,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right.
but, yeah, sometimes it's switched, and it's just weird how those things end up. But Joker's already getting some really good hits on Byleth, but Byleth is also getting some really good hits on Joker. So you see, leaving some very even competition for the most part. Joker's taking out Arsene to give themselves a bit more of an advantage throughout this fight. It really is going to help them. We saw them use Arsene a lot during the last fight, and you know, when they have Arsene out, they are a very dangerous character to play against, especially with Byleth nearing kill percentage here, about 20-21% away from that very dangerous zone that they can get themselves into. Meanwhile, Joker is sitting at a nice and comfortable 55. And with a crit, Byleth was knocked off of the stage pretty far, but still able to recover with that very broken recovery.
Yeah, it was a very nice recovery.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, and from a a good bait from Byleth's end, we were able to take another stock off of Joker, leaving the score 10-4.
we are in dangerous percentage right now at a 130, but I think we can keep our 3 stocks as long as Byleth maintains that spacing and works on the timing of his blocks, because I noticed that he's kind of just slightly off.
But something I also am noticing between the Vandals and the Rigby players is that something that we saw earlier with Joker's self-destruct anyway was that they were very easily baited off of the ledge. You know, it seemed like Byleth was going to make a move. They didn't want to get into that encounter, and so they fell off and wasted themselves a stock, which, you know, in some situations could be to their benefit, but in this situation it really was not. Whereas where Byleth got into a very similar situation earlier on in the fight, they were not afraid to get back on. They knew that they were still in very dangerous territory, nearing into Crimson damage percent, but it didn't phase them at all. They knew that they had a fight to continue, and that was exactly what they brought up. Not having lost a single fight and gaining 157 damage throughout the fight, they're able to take off another stock off of Rigby, leaving the fight 9-3.
Yeah, so we have one more opponent to go against from Rigby in this scrim. Will Byleth sweep the rest of this? And we'd only see 2
don't
of
know.
our players?
No, I don't know.
I mean, that would be pretty nice.
Aww.
Aww. Sorry.
Production is celebrating their early birthday with their boss. Production toys. Now I'm kind of curious. I need to go and see what you got.
Yay, our camera will
is
no
the
longer
lobby
be a
cam
calculator.
here? Yeah, this is like weird communication between stream and production. But oh no, he's grabbing it. Is he grabbing it?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Please, is it here?
Woo! All right, it looks like we're going against the Wii Fit trainer.
Oh, I remember Wii Fit from last week. Yeah.
I don't.
So something I brought up during the Wii Fit trainer before their game was that they have a really nice ability where they're able to heal if they're able to use it right, and they do. Actually, we saw them use it multiple times throughout that fight. They had some really great recoveries. They had some really great competition during that fight. They held up pretty well. Used that soccer ball to their advantage as you do with Wii Fit, and yeah, no, just absolutely dominated that fight. So I'm wondering how this is going to go. And seeing as Wii Fit already has 84% on Byleth, meanwhile only holding about 52% right here, I'm really curious as to how this fight may turn out, either in Rigby or the Vandals' favor.
Really nice aerial control is what I'm seeing.
Yes.
Look at that.
A lot of Wii Fit players are aerial fighters and are very good at using their projectiles to give themselves an advantage during that fight. It does become incredibly annoying, but that's just the spirit of the character there.
We are already up into 140% here. Getting a little worried, but not too much. I think we can at least take this a
they
stock.
Just keep using that ball. That's what you do, Wii Fit is sitting near kill percentage. Meanwhile, Byleth does have a bit over kill percentage, sitting in Crimson, almost nearing 200, and having to play super careful around this Wii Fit, who has been really annoying to deal with so far. They're able to find a good dodge from the ball, which has been their worst enemy throughout this fight so far, and take off a stock from Wii Fit here.
Using a combo that I noticed that our Byleth uses a lot, doing that the back throw and then an arrow right afterwards. Very nice.
And
effective.
Yeah. So with characters, with arrows, like Link, for example, I'm pretty sure it's their neutral B, and it's a very good move for ledge guarding when you're just trying to keep people off and you don't really want to back on. It's a really good long distance way, if you're accurate, that is, from keeping your opponent off the ledge, either knocking them out of view or off or preventing them from getting back on the ledge and recovering. And that's kind of we're I don't know what I was going to say next. But we're seeing some good competition between Byleth and Wii Fit here. We have Byleth sitting at 2 stocks and Wii Fit sitting at 2 stocks, although there is about a 60% difference between kill percentage and whatnot here.
In our favor, too.
In our favor, nice. That is true. We're still holding up pretty well, but Wii Fit is also holding up pretty well. Byleth is learning how Wii Fit is using their ball, so they're not really able to use it as much as usual, although they are able to find a quick one there. And a very, very nice grab attack there. Trying to get some more damage off of Wii Fit, but Wii Fit's able to knock Byleth off stage and use their ball to get another stock off of Byleth, leaving the score 7-2. You see that kind of thing a lot with characters that have projectiles, such as characters with a crossbow, as I was mentioning earlier. And that was a perfect example of how you would use that. And that was another Byleth following it up with the arrow and taking another stock off of Rigby here. Rigby's on their last stock of the fight. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure we are still on 4? Or no, we're a little bit higher than that. 7?
We are at 7, yes.
But, we're still seeing some really good competition. Byleth is in dangerous territory. They need to get more damage out if they want to survive through this fight. Oh!
No, it looks...
But a nasty attack from the underside of stage from Wii Fit. I'm pretty sure that was a down tilt. Takes another stock off of the Vandals, leaving the score 6-1. A excellently played fight from Rigby there.
Very much so. Yeah, I will say that was a beautiful technical fight. Oh my gosh. I genuinely loved that. I mean, we may have lost, but I think we saw a lot of technical capabilities from both us and the Rigby player. I saw a lot more skills and techniques and strategies from Byleth than I did in our last. Yes.
With the volleyball. Yeah.
Sorry, production's making
Silly jokes and puns with us.
and we enjoy it. Yeah.
But we are on to what I'm almost confident that this is our last fight. We have Hunter stepping up to the stage
for that last little cleaning up the spills.
And it's like, yeah, I clean up on all 5, as Summer says.
As Falco,
we're going to have a very, very tough or a very, very quick
I feel like this is going to be fast.
Yeah, I mean, we did see some very tough competition from WeFit last game. I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to get some really good damage off of Falco, maybe even taking a stock off of them. But knowing the way that Hunter plays, you know, his kind of aggressive but somewhat defensive play style at the same time, you know, I don't know. I really don't know is what I'm trying to say. You know, Hunter has been practicing using that step stool tactic, as I've seen them talk about in our Discord server earlier today. It's a very interesting tactic to go for, but, you know, it can take some damage off of your opponent, and if you use it right, you know, it can put them in free fall when they're off the edge, and you can get a very free stock that way. But we're already seeing some very even competition from both sides here. Falco is able to get just about sub 90 on WeFit here, trying to go for the extra off-stage fight, but unable to get a shot in there. They're still fighting for control, still trying to get that stock off of them as soon as they can, trying to finish this up very quickly. But we're still seeing WeFit put in a really good fight here. You know, they're playing relatively defensively, getting some good hits off of Falco there. But Hunter is ready to defend from WeFit's soccer balls. I had to word that really specifically. And see, this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the fight. You know, WeFit has a very aggressive play style. They're able to kind of like weasel their way in to very tight situations to get a stock off. But Falco quickly responds to the stock trade, finishes the fight off of Rigby, leaving the Vandals the victors here with 5 stock left.
Yeah, so that was fast. Like I was thinking, not as fast as I thought, but definitely.
And like I said, you know, like WeFit was able to bring up some good competition. They were able to bring a really good fight to the table, even against Hunter, who is definitely one of our better players on the team. But even then, you know, we saw some really good gameplay, like all around from all of our teams. We saw our Shiny Star Candy on the stage, making an absolutely excellent performance against Joker. And you know, the 2-player sweep from Shiny there earlier in the game. It was beautiful.
It was. I love that.
We're seeing some trolly quotes in the chat here.
Yeah.
And honestly, what's kind of interesting about that is that that's kind of how these crew battles work. The quote reads specifically, "Lose the battle, win the war, launch the opponent." And you know, with these crew battles, like I was saying earlier, it's more about picks than it is about, you know, getting a whole player off of their team.
Yeah.
And, you know, WoW performances like Shiny's earlier on in the game were really nice to watch.
Byleth did pretty nicely as well.
Exactly. You know, we were seeing each player take off stocks little by little, trying to amount to a bigger victory in the end there. Now we are going in for game 2 with Aztec Gigafo on the stage here.
With his Meta Knight.
I love Meta.
Yeah, and he's going against Joker. This is going to be
a very entertaining match. Now, something that's not only dangerous about Meta, but also really dangerous about Jack is that he's fast. He's fast. Meta is a very fast character. You know, you can see very quick encounters and interactions between both players, which
It looks like we're starting off with a bit of a button check, but we're going to go straight into the battle. We're not going to come back. And production makes it a prediction.
And Joker is getting some actually really good damage out on Meta Knight here. But Meta Knight is able to respond a little bit, trying to find some more spots to take advantage of. Joker has not yet pulled out Arsene. You know, they're still waiting for that. They still have some time.
Probably.
But, you know, with Meta still able to put up some good competition against Joker here, really just toying around with them. Oh,
there's your Arsene that you were waiting for.
Yeah, there it is. Oh!
But takes
and
out
what
a
we
stock
saw earlier
anyway.
gets the Byleth underneath the stage. Oh, God. That is nasty. And just to see that replicated on our opponents here is, you know, kind of a troll move. But also
it's effective.
Yeah, no, very effective and definitely entertaining to watch. Then we have Joker finally pulling out Arsene here, getting just about 60% damage here with Meta sitting at something higher than that as it keeps going up. They're sitting in kill percentage now, but that is nothing for Azza here, as they're still able to bring up a good fight, still able to play relatively aggressive against this Joker. Joker is able to defend relatively well, and Meta is kind of failing to find some of the spots that they want to kind of push into here.
I don't know. He's
being
doing
a little
really
too
good
impatient.
counters.
Being a little too impatient, you know, spamming on that shield there, not really finding anything. But now, you know, damage is relatively even, getting some more powerful hits out, and Meta trying to see if there's some opportunities that they can get to take out a stock on Joker here. I'm pretty sure that was a grab attack,
I believe so. But
yeah,
that combo is making
he's really having a fun time with it now. Just getting some more spots, getting Joker up into Crimson. Very dangerous territory. Your character becomes very light, easily launchable. And from that combo, they're able to get another stock off of Joker, sitting somewhat comfortably in 119, which is, you know, or I guess, you know, a little bit higher now. But, you know, this is, I won't say strange, but, like, definitely interesting to watch. You know, he's pretty high up in damage percentage right now. But it doesn't really seem to be phasing him. He's not really playing like he's scared at all. He does know that, you know, a couple bad hits could get him a stock off. But seeing as the score is only 12-10 right now, you know, he doesn't have too much to worry about. Now, Joker does pull out Arsene, so, you know, a good hit from them would be definitely dangerous. You know, getting a stock off of the Vandals like that, not even having to use Arsene, just a normal kick to get them off the stage and take out another stock, leaving the score 11-10.
But production did make a good point. Meta Knight does not care about Arsene. Obviously, from the fighting style, it does not matter to Meta Knight or Asda whether or not Joker pulls out Arsene. He's just going for it, which I love.
Yeah, that's true. Diggs mentioned that the kick was Arsene powered, and yeah, that makes sense. But even then, you know, they were kind of nearing that point where, you know, even like A attacks would have been ruthless towards, you know, getting them off the stage and stuff like that. But, you know, now we're not there. Now we're a whole minute ahead, you know. We're tied for 80% damage percentage here, although Azza still has that stock advantage, having one on Joker and kind of just dancing around, you know. They're playing around. They're trying to play for bait, you know. It's fun to watch Joker kind of dash and, you know, try and figure out what their next plan is. But while Joker is thinking, Meta is able to pull in with some really good hits there, knocking Joker into the air and bringing him back onto the ground. And an excellent charged attack from Joker takes off on the Joker's... Wait, no, I said that wrong. A charged attack from Meta Knight takes the stock off Joker, leaving the score 10-9. 11-9. It's 11-9.
11-9. Yeah, that's our... we knew what you were saying.
Yeah.
We knew what you were saying.
I'm braining. The brain is too big. I can't even think anymore. There's too many things in my brain now.
Yeah. So what's going to happen now is Rigby is going to send in their second player. Our Meta Knight is going to come up and, you know what, take the win again. Because that's what Asda does.
You know, they're sitting nice with 2 stocks against this 3-stock player. I am kind of curious to see who Rigby is going to put up next. I'm pretty sure that we did see a fight between Asda and Wolf during our last scrim against Rigby. And it was very, very close. You know, we saw some very tough competition from Rigby there. And we weren't exactly sure how things were going to turn out. But,
yeah, but I believe that they're probably going to have their Wolf as last. Or
that
as
is
second
true.
to
It
last.
does seem like the Wolf is Rigby, one of Rigby's stronger players anyway. And, you know, kind of saving their secret weapon for last, waiting for a good opportunity to take advantage of that stronger power that you'll need to give yourself an upper hand in the competition. Very, very important. But, you know, we also have some higher stakes for Asda, as our production crew is just going to bully them the entire time. So they know they have some stuff to do. Oh, Diggs, can you mod Amelia? Also happens to be the reason I work there. Well, look at that.
Wow. Hi.
All right. We have the King K player coming back up to the stage.
Yes, very good with his K rule. This will probably be a struggle for Meta Knight.
Why do you think so?
Well, first of all, he's a heavier character, and while Meta Knight is faster, K rule is very good with using his strength. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
I mean,
And Meta Knight will just ignore that, like Asda ignored Arsene. So,
you know, you don't know. I don't know. I do know King. You bring up some good points about King K being a heavier character, and especially this King K player being able to use their strength to their advantage, which is, you know, something that you'll see with most King K players. Seeing a very nice B followed by a B up tilt on Meta Knight there from King K. You know, getting some more damage out. That was very excellently played.
Wow.
Now, another thing that they're going to have to worry about is that shield is definitely uneven between these two characters.
yeah, and K rule just took out Meta Knight's second stock.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we're seeing. You know, King K is able to bring up a very impressive performance against our players here, you know.
Yeah.
They have the technical ability to
Wow.
you know, bring some tough competition, and even though at some points they can choke it, and when they have the advantage in the fight, they really know how to use it. Now Meta Knight is going to troll, hop off the ledge just to get some extra damage out and take a stock off of King K, leaving the score 9-8. 7?
Yes.
7? No, it's 8. 9-8.
9-8?
No, it's 10-8 because Asda's still the first player.
Asda's the first player.
I'm not mathing.
Wait.
I'm not mathing today. That's fine. But you know, Asda's still going pretty strong. They're still pretty high up compared to King K. About a 20% difference there. Now about 30 or so, and rising as I speak, because you know things obviously can't change long enough for me to talk about them. But we still have Meta Knight putting up a really good fight here, trying to get some heavy hits out on King K here. Now, something that is kind of interesting about this fight is that they are really outmatched. You know, Meta and King K are in two very different size calibers, but that's not going to fucking matter, apparently, because, you know, Meta is just going to teleport back on the stage and get a nasty... No, I can't say that. I was going to say a nasty... reverse B on King K and take out another stock, leaving the stock fight even. And Meta just absolutely juggling King K, and that is what is absolutely awful about using these heavier characters. You know, when you're up in the air, there isn't a lot of opportunity for you to come back down. They don't have those fast down specials or down A's. You know, like Yoshi has, for example, that, you know, allows them to come back to the stage very easily. But with a nice grab, K is able to take off as this final stock, leaving the score 9-7 in Vandal's favor still, but an excellently played match from King K there.
Yes, K-Rool was definitely getting a little worried at the end there, as he should have. That was very close. Probably a lot closer than he wanted it to be. That
But he was still able to prevail. Or
Yeah.
I guess they were still able to prevail, and they were still able to hold up a really good fight, a very honorable fight. It was really entertaining to watch. Especially that part where Asda came back onto the stage and just out of nowhere knocked King K off and got a stock off. That
Right.
was. And then even just like after that fight, as Asa continued to juggle King K and get some more damage off, you were right. King K was becoming a lot more panicked, trying to find some more openings, and they were able to find a perfect one with that grab and, taking that fight, which was,
Yes.
I thought that was beautiful, personally.
Another interesting thing about that K-Rool, he's used moves and techniques that I haven't seen from a K-Rool before that I found really interesting. Like, when he brought the cannonball back to him and sent it flying. I haven't seen that in the competitions yet before.
Oh yeah, because like he can use his vacuum to bring it back and then just shoot it again. And I thought that was actually really interesting. But also that the part of the fight, it was a little bit earlier on. I'm pretty sure it was still about 3-2 when no, it was 2-2 at that point where King K was able to use their cannon to knock Azda onto a higher platform and then get him again with another tilt. And I thought that was excellently well played. But now we are back on the stage
With Byleth.
With Byleth, Candy here, our word I can't think of right now. But we did see Candy bring up some good competition earlier on during the last game. They were able to get some really good hits on that Joker there before, and I'm kind of expecting a very similar performance against King K despite the size difference. Oh my god.
Byleth just went straight into that.
Recovery. Byleth ran straight into a cannon, bringing them...
No, the crown.
Oh, no, it wasn't the crown.
No, he shot the cannon and then he threw the crown.
Oh, okay, I missed that then. Oh.
But that does not matter
Wow.
because Byleth does a down smash and
that was
takes K-Rool's last stock.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I understood it was going to be a quick fight,
With
it
only
was
one
a
stock
3-1 stock fight. But that was definitely a lot faster than I was expecting it to be. The score is now 9-6. We have 3 players left versus Rigby's 2.
Yes.
And I'm really interested to see how they're going to go about this. If they are saving Wolf for the end, like you anticipated, I'm pretty sure they might be bringing Wii Fit on to the stage next.
Well, Wii Fit was definitely one of their more impressive players. It could be either Wii Fit or Wolf next.
But now, since they're down to their last 2 players,
I mean, it's
it
going to
could
be
be
one
either
or the
one.
other.
Yeah, they gotta have someone on.
Or
Unless if
maybe they're
someone
going to
pulls,
bring
like,
in someone
Rob out of
new.
their ass or someone. I don't know. That is
That would
true.
be
Maybe
interesting.
someone that we haven't seen before.
That'd be
Or
really
maybe just someone taking a different pick than usual. I would love to see a Nestido.
Yeah. Or I believe they once played a Samus. Oh, Wolf is
there
next.
he is. The Wolf player is up on the stage. Definitely going to be an
saw this
interesting
last
fight. I'm
time.
pretty sure this is, round 2 between Byleth and Wolf, as we saw this same matchup during our first scrim against Rigby. So, this could be tough.
And this time it's a 3-3.
Yeah, so it's still completely even. We're both completely fresh. But there are higher stakes for Rigby than there are for the Vandals here. As, they only have 2 players left. They need to make a bit of a bigger impact if they kind of want to turn this game around.
Yeah, Wolf is going to have to be very aggressive, as we're seeing right now. He's already getting significant damage on Byleth.
Yeah, and, Wolf. Wow. Words were supposed to happen, and they just didn't. It's one of those nights.
So they're kind of taking center stage right now. Byleth doing some nice combos, trying to catch up to that damage. But it's going to take a little bit. I'm not too worried right now because Byleth can get pretty high before he's in kill percentage or Crimson. Sorry.
Or it depends either one. I guess Crimson would be more accurate for what it is that you were trying to say. But, you know, we still have Violet putting up a relatively good fight against Wolf here. But Wolf is just a bit faster, you know, using that down tilt, trying to get another hit on Violet. Like, there are some spots that, you know, Violet isn't really prepared to take here. So I'm, you know, using his gun and whatnot. There was a name for that. I just forgot. But, you know, it could be tougher than Candy expects.
Oh!
But they are able to take the first stock in this match, leaving the score 9-5. So, you know, they're actually still able to hold up pretty well. They've been sitting in 114 for a little bit now, able to finish off Wolf's first stock pretty quickly. So, you know, maybe I just got to keep talking shit, and this will turn out in the Vandals' favor?
Who knows? I mean, Caster's Curse can go either way.
That is true. But we still have Candy putting up a pretty good fight, you know, getting some decent damage on.
I know. For a good
From an almost failed recovery, you know, Wolf using their projectile, or it's not really a projectile, but it also is, to get some extra damage off of Candy while they're off the stage. And that's something that you see from characters with that kind of charge. You know, I know that Metroid has it, or Samus has it. That's what I was thinking of. I know that Samus has it. I know that, you know, some of the Mii Gunners have it, for example. That charge attack can be really deadly if you're not prepared to defend against it. But, you know, Byleth is still holding up really well here in Crimson.
But
I spoke way too soon as their first stock was taken from Wolf here, and Wolf is sitting up near sub 120, doing pretty all right in this fight, still holding up relatively well.
But that does
Byleth will respond to the stock trade there and take off another stock, leaving the stock fight 2-1 right now. Byleth is only at 25%. I spoke too soon once again. That's my bad. And
this is looking in Byleth's favor. And I will say, both times that you said that one player was doing well, they almost immediately lost their stock.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, I'm experiencing the Caster's Curse firsthand.
But Byleth here is doing really well with keeping up that aggression. He almost took no damage for a good 30% there. And I'm saying that he caused 30% damage before he took any, if that makes any sense.
I think I'm picking it up. Oh, and Byleth with a very with a double crit, able to take off Wolf's last stock, leaving the fight 8-3. What?
Going into
the hell?
That was really impressive showing by Byleth, taking on that second round against Wolf and really showing who's boss. But Wolf was also showing impressive showing, getting that damage percentage up there and really using their abilities and their close combat and their speed to their advantage. So really impressive showing by Wolf. And here we have probably Wii Fit again.
Yeah, no, that's who's left.
Yeah.
Against our Byleth, who's at 2 stocks here.
This probably will end with
well, because we did see this fight last game.
Yeah, so
and we saw how that turned out.
We'll probably get them down to 1 stock once again, but I'm not expecting Byleth to win. I mean, still could happen.
No, I'm just kidding. I was like, no, I get it.
But I'm not expecting too much of a difference from last time.
But I don't know, maybe Byleth is able to recognize the mistakes that they made against Wii Fit during that last fight and use it to their advantage. From a failed recovery, Wii Fit loses their first stock, leaving the stock fight even. With the damage percentage a little uneven, you know, Byleth is up by like 33 here. But that might not be too much, as Byleth is still able to get in and cause a really big impact on Wii Fit there. That was, like, this is going really, really well so far. With the up and then the down and then the words I don't know. I sound like a child trying to explain this game. That's okay. The stock fight is currently 2-1 in Byleth's favor. Byleth sitting at 101 while WeFit sits at 28 on their last stock. This is Rigby's last stock, so they are going to have to play this extremely careful. But we also did see this in I think some fight during their last game. As,
no, actually.
or not between Byleth and WeFit, but something similar to where we saw Rigby on their last stock, and they were really able to clutch up. Not entirely win the fight, but definitely take a few stocks off of our players.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be too surprised if that's what we saw here, with Byleth getting up into 141, but WeFit is also at 102. Now 100, using their healing ability to take some damage off.
Or at least Candy, is trying to prove me wrong here
Oh!
by taking that last stock.
Oh my goodness!
Not losing a single stock to WeFit Trainer. Byleth proved me wrong.
Yeah. No,
Like,
they were
utterly,
like,
completely wrong.
Screw you, Amelia. I was like, oh, you just don't believe in me.
Er,
No, but that was a very
Wow.
well-played match from both teams here. The Vandals will be taking the game here,
Yeah.
having won 2-0 against Rigby High School, but we did see a excellently played game from Rigby there. Some very tough competition, some spots where it didn't really seem like we were going to pull through, but we did. We were able to prevail and get that game under our belt just in time to have a bit of a break before our game against
that was Redlands.
Redlands. Oh, okay. Yeah, back to
And
California. We played Redlands earlier this week, the
in-
Overwatch team.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did. And we played them before for our Valorant team.
Yes, so this is the second time that we're seeing Redlands on our stream this week.
Oh, right, because we don't stream Overwatch, really.
No, we did this week.
Oh, you meant this week. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't hear
No,
the
but
last part of your sentence,
Yeah.
and I was just like, wait.
But so Overwatch played Redlands earlier this week, and then we're playing them again this week for Smash.
So, about their Smash team, I kind of did a little digging. That sounds bad.
What does that mean?
It means
No, that's
so I went-
preparation. You're a
yeah,
caster.
so-
You're casting for the game. It makes sense that you're trying to prepare to figure out what you're gonna cast.
So I went into NACE and looked up the rankings, see where we were against them. They are 4th ranked, but there's 2 second place, so technically they're 3rd. Really, let's be honest. They have 2 losses and 1 win. One of those losses is actually Newmont. So if you
Really?
remember,
Yeah, I do
we
remember
went up against Newmont a little while ago. Yeah.
That match against Numa wasn't even really a match, if I remember correctly. Not even
No.
in the negative competitive way. It was just like
A little
was-
rough to watch, to be honest. I'm sorry.
But it was quite a matchup that we had against Newmont. But I'm glad that you did that research, because that definitely gives us kind of an expectation of how this next game is gonna go.
Lost against Newmont.
Yeah.
So we are gonna take a break, and once we get back, we'll tell you more about our future opponents. And so, go get something to eat, get something to drink, and come back ready to watch another amazing Smash stream. And later tonight, we have League of Legends against Chapman University. So stay tuned for that as well.
And Amelia will actually be on stream for that. I won't be casting League tonight. You'll be you'll be doing it with
Will
Sam.
I be doing it with Sam again?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yay!
3-minute break.
And
We'll restart.
Okay.
yeah, I would say that we're gonna go on break for a specific amount of time, but we're just gonna restart stream anyway. So
So it's going to pop off, but you'll get another notification. Make sure to tune back in when you get it.
yeah.
Well, we're going to do some more with Rigby, I think.
Are we?
Are we?
We have till like 6:45ish.
So
That's like 15
25
minutes.
minutes.
That's like 15 minutes.
No, 25.
6:45?
Like single rounds.
It's 6:20.
That says 6:32.
That's wrong.
What's wrong?
Oh,
Were there any?
then I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so we might have more rounds with Rigby
Okay.
before we get into
We may have spoke too soon.
Redlands.
But never mind. We're going right back into it. I need a break. So I'm gonna go get myself some water and some
Could you
snacks,
get
and
me-
you should do the same. And I'm gonna get you a water because I think you want a water.
Can I get a Gatorade?
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Red, please. So, if we're not taking a break, then I will stay here and tell you what's going on.
Take a break.
Okay. China.
Welcome back, y'all. It is I, Kaz.
And I, Amelia. The break was really short.
Yeah, a bit longer than we anticipated it. I thought we were gonna end stream, and it turns out we're doing another game against Rigby. So we're here. We have our refreshments. We hope you have your refreshments and that you're staying hydrated. Hydration is very important. And we're back with another fight. We're not sure if we're counting the fight that just happened, since there was a fight that just happened and we didn't.
I don't know how
watch
that
it.
ended, to be honest.
We won against Rigby. We got a fighter out.
Oh, cool.
So, and it looks like Hunter, who we put on first,
So it's
has
currently
one stock. So I'm assuming
10.
that means it's 10-9.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And right now we have Hunter, who is playing Falco, as we can
As per
see,
usual.
against Pyra Mithra. Or Mithra Pyra. I didn't know how they picked it.
A very quick up attack getting Mithra, or nope, and now it's Pyra. Nope, that's Mithra.
That's
I
Mithra.
should know this. I had a friend who was like a Pyra Mithra stan for years.
I mean, I can see why.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Love those boobas.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that outfit in general, that's just awesome. Moving on to the techniques they're using.
Yeah, moving on to the actual fight. You know, the current stock matchup is 1-2 in Mithra's favor. You know, they're sitting at 110 while Hunter sits at 69. They just switched Pyra. They're kind of just going on. Falco
Honestly,
was looking for an up tilt, but missed it just by a hair. But Pyra is still up in 126.
Oh,
Gets
that
hit.
recover was at the wrong
Falco
time.
hits by and from a devastating down spike. That is another stock off of the Vandals, leaving the fight
At 9-8.
9-8 in the Vandals' favor.
Yes, in the
Yes.
Vandals' favor. So, yes, Pyra is adorable.
That is true.
Yeah, just looking at their outfits is really cool. Anyway, so I don't know who we're going to put in next. It's probably going to be Asda because we're kind of going in a pattern right now. But their Pyra Mithra was a new player, so maybe we're going to put in a new player as well.
Maybe.
That would be interesting. Maybe, I don't. Oh, maybe Vulcan will pop in. That'd be fun.
Where is he right now?
I don't.
Oh, I
Don't
almost
fall
my damn
over.
chair.
Language.
Hey, I can say damn.
I'm kidding. I don't really care personally.
With high schoolers. It's not like I'm dropping F-bombs in here, although I
true.
definitely have dropped.
I just got called Captain America. I
I have a shirt from that quote from Infinity War. It's America's ass right there. And it just has a piece of tape over it. It says a language. And I'm like,
That's beautiful. So it looks like we're putting in shiny shoes against Pyra Mithra for those last two stocks. It's going to be, honestly, I'm thinking Rosalina's going to destroy. Not completely. They're very good. I'm just saying. It's an expected outcome. So here we have
Pythra going Mithra first, using a dash as Rosalina tries to approach. Doesn't really fail or succeed in that front, but is able to get a few hits on Mithra there, who switches to Pyra as I call her out apparently. Using their down special to get some damage on Rosalina there, but Rosalina is still dominating the competition with 3 stocks, 45% damage, and
already taken out of stock.
what was that?
That was aggressive
did they
playing.
just knock them off the ledge? Or
Yeah.
that was a really interesting move there.
Honestly, Shiny Shoes knows Rosalina so well. It's insane. You know what? Production is making a relatable comment. Saying they'll nerd out about Xenoblade as much as I nerd out about Kingdom Hearts, which is an insane amount.
Yeah, the tism is strong in these two.
Gonna talk?
No, I'm not. And I took credit now. I took credit now. Anyways, Rosalina was able to find another stock off Pythra there. Pythra is playing Mithra at the moment, getting up into 89%, while Rosalina hasn't taken any damage on their second stock. Which is
really?
and
were not
failed
able to
recovery from
recover.
Pythra takes off another stock from Rigby, leaving the score. I can't math right now, Amelia. What's the score?
It is 6-7 or 6-8. Sorry.
6-8 in the Vandals' favor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because we won that match.
yeah. That does make sense. I don't know why I'm asking stupid questions.
No, it's not a stupid question. It's double checking, and we need to reaffirm we're doing well.
I am a man who thrives off reassurance.
Words of affirmation are good for me as well.
But we
we love production too.
our heart goes out to all of you and to all of our coworkers and to all of you in stream. Thank you so much for tuning in, especially early during our pre-game time.
Yeah, I know this is a lot earlier than we usually do. Oh, Cloud!
Oh my God.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. That sounded really annoyed. Like, I'm so sorry if it came across that way.
No, you're fine.
But
I'm excited.
I forgot that Rigby had a Cloud player.
Yeah, we actually saw them a little bit when we were going to go off to break.
Mm-hmm.
Cloud played a little bit before we got into this game. So we're going to see Shiny Shoes against Cloud. Their Cloud player is pretty good. Not as good as their Wii Fit trainer or their Wolf, but I will say they do pretty well. I'm going to
I hear
actively
Sam
try
outside
not...
of my headphones, and I'm
But-
getting excited. Every time I hear our League of Legends coach is in the building right now, and it makes me very happy to hear them.
Mm-hmm.
I become like a puppy when I hear them. I get very excited. But anyways, on to the actual fight, which is kind of going really nicely so well in Cloud's favor, getting some nice damage on Rosalina there, who's playing with 2 stocks and 50% damage, where Cloud is approaching their limit breaker, very close to being able to get a very tough fight. But Rosalina is able to wait on the ledge long enough for Cloud to just waste it and use it down to get Cloud off the stage, evening out the stock fight.
Shiny
and Rosalina
Shoes
was
scares
just
me.
trolling, having went all the way under the stage, trolling Cloud, thinking that they were going to fall off, but didn't. That is what you call impressive technical skill and ability.
That is not the first time Shiny Shoes has utilized Rosalina this way. He's very familiar with Rosalina's recovery limits and terrifies me every time he shows that capability because he can fly around the screen as much as he wants.
And another failed recovery from Cloud takes off another stock from Rigby. But, the Cloud was able to respond to the stock trade very quickly, evening out the stock fight and leaving the score.
It is now 4-7.
All right, it's 4-7. And Rosalina is still fighting really well, able to recover off from the stage, try to get it down, and misses on Cloud, who wastes their limit breaker, which is really interesting.
I don't think they meant to do that.
Yeah, maybe a misinput, but that's all right. Rosalina is able to use that to their advantage, though. Able to go in and just put out some really good hits.
Oh, they were probably expecting the large hitbox, like production's pointing out.
Yeah.
But it did not go to their...
Well, I mean, I don't know. Rosalina was pretty high up. But I don't know. They use a down tilt, but have a parry moment. Cloud is up at 92 and just getting juggled by Rosalina there, who uses a charge, but Cloud is able to perfectly time that defense, I think is what I was trying to say.
Was not
able to use it down, and another to get Cloud off the stage, taking off another stock from Rigby there.
Yeah, so that
There it
leaves
is.
us at 7-3. And we are going into the last round of this match.
Zed Lepin, I can't speak, but you know what I was trying to say because it sounds enough like your name. You are correct. Our Rosalina is cracked. Shiny Shoes is definitely a really good player. They're on our varsity team.
Yes,
I'm
Shiny
pretty sure.
Shoes is on our varsity team, as
Yes.
is Hunter. Candy so far.
So we will be seeing them play later on tonight in our varsity match,
As well as Asda.
as well as Azza, who is on this. No, it's still Shiny, but also Zed got the reference that I was making, so now I'm happy. Zed is a familiar viewer. They came in for our league stream on Tuesday, so it is nice to see your name in chat once again. So we have Rosalina fighting against Rigby's Joker player. And as we know, Joker is definitely a tough opponent.
Yeah, especially for Rosalina. Last time we saw them play, Rosalina was able to take some of the stocks off Joker, but starting off on one stock is definitely a disadvantage. We should be seeing at least one stock taken off of Joker, but I'm not too sure about much more. I do have confidence in Shiny Shoes, but it's not looking good.
But you know, I believe that Rosalina and Joker have fought in before in a previous game, and it was definitely a very close match. You know, maybe Rosalina will prove me wrong using their long distance attacks to get some more damage on Joker, try and get him off the ledge, but they are able to recover. You know, this is just really dangerous territory for them to be playing in right now. As they, even though Rosalina has one stock, and you know, Joker did just lose one of their stock, plural, I can't speak.
So one thing to note, the league game will be happening after the varsity smash game. So we'll be going through against Redlands before we do the U of I v Chapman game for
Yes.
League of Legends.
And I believe the way that's going to work is that we are just going to use the replays from the league game
Yes.
against Chaplin to cast.
The
So-
recording we're going to go over after. So we're going to do the Redlands game live with the Chapman game as recording.
Yeah. And a very
Whoa.
nasty stock off of Joker from Rosalina there while I was distracted. The stock fight is even once again, and Rosalina is able still to put some decent damage out on Joker there. This is going a lot better than I expected, although with Shiny, I guess I can't say I'm too surprised. You know, they have this ability to clutch up in these really tight situations there. I wouldn't even be surprised if they were able to win this fight, but it's still not sure. As
Especially getting
Joker
that high.
pulls out Arson there, trying to get Joker off of the stage and using a down to get them off and successfully taking another stock off of Joker. How
Rosalina
excellently
sweep?
played.
Rosalina sweep. That
could be.
That was
We
almost-
just saw them take out 3 players on their own, and they only have 1 stock left.
Yeah, so that is the kind of play we saw from Hunter the other night. I hope we see more of that when Rosalina, Asda, I apologize, Shiny Shoes, Asda, and Hunter go up against Redlands. That's the kind of plays I hope to see. That was great.
Reminder to everyone in the stream that water exists and you need to drink it to survive. Drink water, please.
Yep.
As I take my sip of water.
As I take my sip of Gatorade, which does not help with hydration.
But now we are waiting for Rigby to put up their next opponent.
That was their 4th.
Oh?
Yeah, that game's over. We
Oh,
won.
so that means the first game did count. Or
I
did
think
it?
I think I don't know. I think
'Cause I
we're
thought
just
they had
going at this
another.
point.
Because I'm pretty sure that there was another.
No, they were down to 3.
So that fight against Hunter and Cloud counted?
I think so. I don't know. So
Nope, I think we're putting someone. Oh, we're just.
Oh.
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 Wait, are we gonna have Joker be Joker? Oh wait, no.
Joker Ditto? Oh.
Joker
nope,
against
it's Terry. I don't know what's
which
going on
is-
anymore.
Side note, that is a good practice because Redlands usually starts out with a Terry. So there's that little
There's our warm up,
sneak
you know.
peek.
This is really interesting. This is a different pick from Asda. So hey,
Is this Asta?
yeah, Asda went up.
Oh,
Or
I didn't see
I guess
the-
whoever's playing is using Asda's controls. So.
Okay.
Or we're
Oh
still,
yeah, it is Asda.
Yeah,
You're
we're
right.
seeing some good damage out from Terry there. I love Terry. Terry's.
I think after going up against the last Joker, he was just like, I want to show you up with my own skills.
And
on
you know
Joker.
what? That's something that we've seen from a couple of our players. We've seen a similar situation actually during League on Tuesday,
Oh,
where our enemies played Mumu, and we absolutely wiped with them. And then Tavian came out of nowhere with their Mumu pick and absolutely wiped again.
It was
And that,
pretty great.
you know, what I would find really interesting is if we kind of saw a repeat of that kind of play here, but it doesn't look like that's happening. You know, Asda's really high up in damage percentage right now with Terry sitting comfortably at 50. This is a really dangerous fight for them to be in right now, so I really hope that they're able to prevail. Both players are playing fresh on 3 stocks with Terry sitting at 84%, but Joker was able to kick him off of
Nice edge
Worldview
guarding.
and get another stock off.
Yeah, so one thing that I was talking with Asda before the scrim, and I was actually talking to him about Terry players. Oh, another failed recovery from Terry. But anyway, he said that he struggles against Terry. So I think this is him challenging himself. Which, I mean, doing fairly well, as we could see.
But also using a pick that they don't usually play as. And just juggling them around.
No, that was
Oh,
Terry.
no, that was the other way around. I didn't see that. That was my bad. But hey, no, that was still incredibly impressive. And, you know, Asda's still really high up at kill percentage right now.
Oh,
and
got up to
yeah,
210.
no, and then they get kicked out. Yeah, that's great. But Terry is at their last stock right now with 82% damage.
Yeah, this is Rigby's last stock because I guess we're not counting the Cloud.
Because we
We'll
moved, so
fight.
I don't know. Did we lose a stock off Shiny as well? Because this is a whole new fight now. Shiny still had 1 stock left.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on right now, but we're seeing some impressive battles. If we could get, like, more information about what's going on, that'd be great. But you know what? That's okay.
Things
we'll
are
just
happening
enjoy.
right now. That's all you need to know. And Joker using that incredibly annoying gun to get Terry off the stage.
Yeah.
Keep him
that-
off. Take off their last stock. What a fight. And what an annoying fight. I've played against many Jokers in my past, and I have
But-
been very much abused with that gun there. So, yeah,
I
no,
mean-
I definitely felt for Terry.
If it works, why change it? Don't fix it if it ain't broke.
That's true. Yeah.
So, I don't know what's going on.
All right,
But-
production is telling us that we are restarting stream in preparation for the game against Chapman. And thank you!
Oh!
Woohoo!
So, it
Oh, not
looks-
Chapman? No, we're playing League Chapman. We're playing Redlands today. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
So, we're going to take a break, and I'm going to be popping out, and Diggs is going to be casting with Kaz. So you guys get to enjoy a Kaz and Kaz cast night for the Smash for University of Idaho against Redlands University. So you get to enjoy that. Come back later.